Hello friends, my name's TheRealEmile and welcome to Car News. Now I haven't done one of these in ages. The last thing we spoke about was the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, and that must have been back in 2014 sometime. But I figured I needed to make another episode today because it's about something that's worrying me a little bit. You see, Aston Martin have got a new plan. For those of you who don't know, just let me, yeah, I can't scroll for some reason. Anyway, Aston Martin basically has been bankrupt 7 times, and basically they're fairly lucky to be alive. However, I think modern day Aston Martin is fantastic. You have the beautiful Vanquish, which in my opinion, or this car you're seeing on your screen, this is the prettiest car ever made. You have the Vantage, which is actually a pretty damn decent 911 rival. And you also have the DB9. Now, I actually forgot that they still made the DB9, because the DB9's been around forever. But there's a new model out. It's the DB9 GT. It looks absolutely superb. I've always quite liked the DB9, just because it's sort of the cruiser, if you will. If I was going to have to buy sort of a supercar Grand Tourer, I'd probably get a DB9. As much as I love the way the Vanquish looks, DB9 just rides a bit better. But anyway, I was reading a review of the DB9 GT, and I came across this, and it says, New British boss Andy Palmer has a 5-year plan to triple sales from 3,500 a year to 11,000 plus. All the sports cars are being replaced, starting with the DB11, the DB9 successor, next year. They will then be followed by a new Vantage in 2017, and a Vanquish a year later. I'm told Bond's DB10 is not for public sale, but specifically created for the new film. Now, the first part of this, it does make me sad, because I dearly love every car Aston makes, but I do have to admit, you know, some of the cars, they kind of need updating. I mean, the DB9 has been out since about 2003, I think. Vantage was 2005, and the Vanquish, it was released in 2012, but it uses the DBS chassis, and that car's about 7 years old. So that does make me very sad that sort of all these cars do need to be replaced, but it's a natural evil. And judging by sort of their styling at the moment, Aston Martin hopefully should do a pretty good job of it. And by I say styling at the moment, I mean cars like the Vanquish and the Vantage. If we look at sort of the DB10, and they're also planning a crossover as well, DB10, I was not a huge fan of the way that car looks, as in I really dislike the way the DB10 looks, so I'm not particularly happy with that. Hold up, I'm just reading through the rest of it. Also, they're on about making a Lagonda, and yeah. Let me just go through this. Right, here we go. This is the bit that irritates me. Blah 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 blah. It's apparently going to be one of the last non-turbos. Aston Martin are going to use turbochargers. Apparently, the DB9 GT uses the 6-litre V12, which has been about for ages. 547 horsepower. I do like the DB9 GT. But apparently, they're going to turn into turbos. The Mercedes will supply Aston with 4-litre twin turbos V8s in the future, the same lump flats in the AMG GTS. Aston will make the V12 turbocharged for efficiency. Aston Martin shouldn't be turbocharged. I'm just going to come out on a limb and say this. I wasn't mad when Ferrari turbocharged the 458 and turned it into the 488 in the California, because that's fine. Okay, Ferraris are made to be the quickest sort of cars. I'm not mad. I'm trying to think of other companies that have sort of done it. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I wasn't mad when Ferrari did it. But Aston Martin, can you imagine an Aston Martin with a turbo? Turbos don't particularly work in Grand Tourers, in my opinion. A Grand Tourer should have a big... It doesn't have to be a V12, it can be a V8, but it just needs a big, smooth engine. And turbochargers, as much as they're getting much better, they aren't really smooth. You know, it doesn't matter how good you make the turbocharger, it's not always on, therefore you're always going to have at least a millisecond of lag. and it irritates me. To be fair, as well, even worse is the fact that it's Mercedes supplying them with 4-litre twin-turbo V8s. Now, I'm pretty sure the V12 Aston Martin already made. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the GTS either. I mean, I'm not even a fan of the engine. A 4-litre twin-turbo V8, yeah, it's probably quite nice, but it doesn't excite me. You know, I'm sorry, many cars have 4-litre V8 twin turbos, and they don't excite me. But when you hear something like 6-litre V12, okay, that's exciting. Naturally aspirated engines are fantastic. I will admit, yes, the environment is kind of a big deal. And I've even said in the past, the way we should adapt is not to make hybrids or electrics, it's to put turbos onto our petrol cars to make them more efficient. But Aston Martin doing it, I just don't personally. No, I'm sorry, just no. The DB9 will be the last one to have the V12, and then whenever the Vanquish gets replaced, I assume that'll be the last time we ever see the naturally aspirated V12. Yeah, honestly, I worry for Aston Martin, because if they start turbocharging stuff and make replacements like the DB10, you know, make them look like the DB10, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be interested in Aston Martin anymore. I'm going to go ahead and buy a Jaguar F-Type or something of the sort. No. So, there you go. I guess if you're thinking of buying an Aston Martin, buy it before 2018, or else they will ruin it with turbos. I don't want to say they'll ruin it. It's just, it's not Aston-like. James Bond wouldn't drive around in a car that makes a turbo blow-off valve noise, would he? But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Me personally, I worry for Aston. It makes business sense doing this, but I think they're going to lose a lot of customer sort of. Just a lot of their customer base. I honestly, I think. But yeah, tell me what you think down in the comments below. Do you think this is a smart business move by Aston Martin? Or do you think it's going to make an Aston Martin just not as desirable as it once was? Me personally, I love Aston Martins. But with this, I just don't think they'll be as far up my list anymore. I just don't. But yes, anyway, tell me what you think down in the comments below. Whether you think this is good news and sort of Aston Martin again in the 21st century, or whether you're sad like me. Yes, anyway, my name's been TheRealEmile. The gameplay in the background has been Forza Horizon 2, in case you're sort of a car guy who's just clicked onto this video. Yeah, Forza Horizon 2 Xbox One footage is pretty good, and it makes the Vanquish look absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been TheRealEmile, and until next time, farewell.